I'm going to put a pause here because we need to start class. But yeah, but keep that sentiment going because we need unity in the world. We need unity in our bodies too. So I'm interested in knowing what you need from your practice today. Do you need peace? Do you need healing? Do you need energizing? And do you have questions about the practice so we can focus and I can give some deeper instruction today?
I need help reducing anxiety.
Oh, jeez. Amen.
I'm so anxious about the election. It's
Oh.
just, so that's why this is so good for me.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, and I too have tremendous anxiety. I'm not even sleeping all night anymore. I'm waking up at 2 o'clock every night and I can't go back to sleep. So
me too.
I think, and from what I know from my training and my experiences, that the nervous system needs the medicinal application of breath in a certain way. And when you're nervous, when you're anxious, you hold your breath. And what we need to do is we need to bring awareness to our exhales as we notice anxiety rising. The deeper the exhale forces the deeper inhale. So you can't clamp down on the breath. So Ujjayi breathing in this practice is so critical, and it has to be applied in even measure, inhale and exhale. But to get there, you have to do kind of a settling in and anchoring to notice where you are. You have to acknowledge that you're in a state of anxiety to start treating your anxiety. You can't just skid on the brakes and automatically breathe in and out equally. You have to kind of recognize where you are. It's like when you put something into Waze, you have to know where you are to be able to get where you're going. So I think it's really important to sit for a moment before we practice when we're in states of high anxiety, just to kind of get a temperature of what's there. And when we sit, it's not to shame ourselves or to judge ourselves for feeling anxiety. It is very common right now, and I think I heard a statistic the other day that 80% of people in the world are experiencing higher levels of depression. Depression and anxiety are pretty much twins. Right. And there are ways to treat it, and moving and breathing are the medicinal applications of yoga. But off of our mats, we have to start getting out of our heads like we do on our mats. And what we were talking about before we started rolling the recording here about thinking about others and helping others is one way that we can reduce our anxiety. It gives us some sense of traction, because part of my anxiety, and I don't know if that is the same for you guys, is the helplessness I'm feeling right now. I feel helpless that the world is in a state where the rules that used to apply have been obliterated. So I think the common rules can't be obliterated. Helping each other out, treating other people the way you want to be treated. So I would encourage you to have moments where you can sit, and I'm going to model that. We're going to do a little meditation before we start today, before we warm up our bodies. Find a comfortable seat. Find a way to sit. I'm sitting in Seiza pose. Let me back up so you can see where I'm sitting on my heels. That's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you need to sit with your legs crossed or your feet out in front of you, go ahead and do that. The main thing is get your pelvis level and square so you're not creating anything wonky in your spine, because you don't want to divert attention to things that are out of sorts. Shoulders over the hips and hands down on the thighs, maybe just a little above the knees. And when you're tense, the shoulders are going to come forward. The response of your soul is to hug in and curl in and close things off. But sit and open your heart. Be brave and vulnerable at the same time. Lift up your roof of your mouth through the top of your head. Feel your sternum rising. And just gently bring your ribs in. Don't slam them into the spine, but just bring them in toward the spine. Take your gaze forward and down. Now, I think this is really important. Keeping your eyes open in meditation when you have high levels of anxiety keeps you grounded into the reality of what's here. I find when I close my eyes, I start fantasizing. The fantasies, the stories, they just start going pretty fast. So if I can keep my gaze forward and down about 4 feet in front of me, and then tune into my breath, I'm starting to get the picture of this is right now. This is safe. We are in places where we feel safe and secure. We're sitting on the ground. And we're breathing. Now we use this as home base, and I like the rings of the nostrils as a home base for awareness of the breath, because you can feel the breath coming in and out through the sensitivity of the skin there. The breath is not something that's separate from you, it's part of you. So as you become aware of the breath, notice that your body is responding to it. You might notice residual tension gripping you. Remind those parts of your body that it's okay. That we're here to be open and vulnerable for just like 3 minutes. If your mind diverts into stories or rushes ahead and creates fantasies of what hasn't happened yet, recognize that you've left this moment and come back to this sensation of breath in the rings of your nostrils. And if you feel that your posture is shifting or moving away from being centered, it's okay to realign. That's an awakening. That's a recognition that you've drifted away and you just come back. And as you're breathing and feeling here, you'll notice what else is present with you, because we're multi-layered. You'll notice not only the physical, but the sense of energy in the body. And sometimes when we're feeling anxious, it can be a very keyed up feeling. And sometimes that moves into a lethargy, a muddiness. Whatever's here is here, and it's okay. We can feel the mood. We can recognize thoughts without getting stuck in them. Sometimes the mood behind anxiety is fear. Sometimes it's anger. I read an article this morning about how we can get some power by watching our emotions instead of getting caught up in them, swept away in anger and fear. We gain a little more strength, like exercising a muscle, if we can watch the arc of that mood without flying off the handle, without running and getting stuck full on into the fantasy. Feel where mood manifests physically in the body. And invite that part of the body to relax. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, turn your spine to the right and just gently twist, moving your gaze purposefully so you see everything as your head moves. And then come back to center. And then do it in the opposite direction. Exhaling to the left, turning your gaze, seeing everything there. And then coming back to center. Any questions on that process? Are we all feeling good?
Yes.
So I think it might be a good idea if we dedicate our practice today to releasing anxiety from the physical body, and that will get us out of our heads. So every stretch, every inhale will be stretching the muscles, and every exhale will be the release. And so we want to feel how the breath and the body work together to do that. So by the end of the practice, when we lay down in that very vulnerable position of Shavasana, that we feel a sense of strength and being able to be open to whatever is there at the end of the practice. Let's start that process on our backs. So move onto your backs, find symmetry in your spine. Lengthen out, because anxiety clenches us, so take a full body stretch. And yawn if you need to. That resets the brain and the body. And then bring the arms down or out. Tuck the shoulder blades and cross the right ankle over the left, and then wobble, 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 loosening. And then go ahead and switch the cross of the ankles and do some more. And then release that and bend your right knee and touch your toes either to your thigh or your shin. Inhaling open and exhaling across. The first one very deliberate and slow, and then let that go and move between those two end posts and let your body loosen a little more in the spine and the hips and the low back. And then come back to center. Reset, lengthen the spine, bend the left knee, and open and twist. I love this because sometimes I get a spinal adjustment and it makes things feel even better. This anxiety is rising and it manifests in our tissues and it exacerbates the vulnerabilities and the things that we already feel. Come back to center, straighten the spine, both knees in, and going right and left. Come back to center and straighten the spine and stretch the left leg down and the right leg up, but just pump it up. Feel where the hamstrings are. Inhale, open. And exhale across and go as loosely as it feels good. And then come back and straighten and try that on the other side. Stretch it up. Get a sense of where the hamstrings are starting before you send them in a direction. Inhale, open. And exhale across. And then come back to center, straighten the spine, and bring both legs up, connecting the inner corners of the feet to circle the feet around. More leg stretching, but also the encouragement of your core to start engaging. And reverse that. Bring your knees in, give yourself some spinal rocking. And then let's come up and stand and root ourselves in and set the direction. We know now from our movements and our meditation that we have a starting place. We know how the body feels, what we're carrying with us. remember your intention to let this be moving medication for the body and the mind and the soul. Every inhale, stretching. Every exhale, letting go. On your inhale, reach up and stretch. And on your exhale, lengthening and hinging, fold and let go. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go back to plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Find the equal in and out. The nice deep ujjayi. Inhale, top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hinge, stretch all the way up. Reach in, find the tension. Exhale, let it go as you come back into equal standing. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, let go. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, go back to plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Full breath. Long, full, deep breaths. Find the top and the bottom of your lungs in equal measure. Inhale, top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch all the way up. Reach deep inside. Exhale, let that go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold, let go. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, let go into your own strength as you find plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Deep, full breath. Make this the most powerful. Feel the strength coming from the infusion of oxygen and the release of CO2. This is the mechanism for letting go of the stress and anxiety. Inhale, top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch all the way up, vertical lift. Exhale, release and stand in this moment. Inhale, chair pose, strong. Use your glutes. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhale, back to plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, back to down dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward, warrior one. Reaching all the way up. And then releasing that, letting go. Plank or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward, warrior one. Reaching out and up. Exhale, let go and flow through. Inhale, up dog, stretching the front body. Exhale, back to downward facing dog, deep breathing. Stretching the front body is an act of getting into the stomach and the spleen's energy, which is grounding. It returns us to that sense of being able to digest life without it being toxic. Deep breaths in and out. Inhale, top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, strong chair. Feel the earth beneath you. Exhale, stand. Inhale, strong chair. Exhale, fold, let go. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog. Inhale. Warrior one. Plant your feet with courage. Reach out, open up. Exhale, let go. Clearing out the corners. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go back. Down dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Reach out, feel what's here. Exhale, release. Flow through. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. 5 deep breaths. Check in on the cadence, the fullness, the smoothness, the equanimity of the inhale and the exhale. Breath and movement as medicine. Apply it liberally. Inhale, top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair, strong. Exhale, stand bravely. You are here. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go back. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog. Inhale, right foot, warrior one. Reach out and up. Exhale, release. Inhale, open. Exhale, go back. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. Exhale, release, and flow through. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, 5 deep breaths. Inhale, top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair, strong chair. Exhale, stand and feel. It's a little prana check, so feel yourself rooted in and taking up the space of this moment right here. Hands to your hips. It's a power pose here. Elbows wide. Inhale, lift your sternum, draw your ribs in. And then exhale, hinge forward. Drop your hands and circle them around your big toes. Inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, drop down and let go. 5 deep breaths. And try to do this without force, without ambition, just being where your body puts you to feel the stretch. Recognizing that it is enough. It's perfect. The body has wisdom. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, transition your hands under your feet, Padahastasana. Take a moment to step into your wrists. Wiggle your toes right into the inner wrist. And then try to equalize the weight in the 4 corners of your feet. So you're giving a little bit of a massage to the muscles and tendons of the arms. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, drop down, be here. Deep breath, feel everything. Reaching in, find the anxiety, and breathing out, let it go. This is perfect for emptying out our heads, isn't it? It's pointed down like a ketchup bottle. Inhale, lengthen your heart. Exhale, release your hands. Inhale, hinge and stand. Exhale, step back, lining up your heels, pivot. And then inhale, open up into the triangle. It's a very big, powerful pose. We're open. Exhale, tipping in. Lengthen from the earth to the sky and then from east to west by bringing your right hip crease back and your heart forward, reaching through the crown of your head. Deep breath. Feel the ground beneath you solidly, earth energy. Inhale, powerfully lift, and then exhale, pivot on your heels. Take another deep breath in, power pose. Exhale, tipping in. Feel ground to sky extension and breathe. So when we feel grounded, we feel a sense of equanimity, we feel calm. But when we don't feel grounded, we feel like our roots have been pulled up and we have anxiety. It's when we live in our heads. We need to live in our bodies. Inhale, come on up, and exhale, step up to the top of your mat. Put your toes right at the very top. Stand in a prana check here. Feel your body. Stand powerfully tall. And as you exhale, step your right foot back even deeper. Pivot on your heels, dropping into extended side angle. Lean into your right thigh. Rebound the energy, opening up your chest, reaching your left arm overhead. Nice deep breath. Pick your head up if it's drooping down. Keep it in line with your spine. Dropping the sit bone only. Nice deep breath. Inhale, come on up, and then exhale, pivot. Go to the other side, dropping into the left sit bone. Lean into the thigh, open the chest, and then take the arm right over your left ear, right ear. Keep your head in line with that. I like to glue my ear toward the bicep so I can keep my head up and keep the energy flowing strongly. And every exhale, letting go into the hips. The hips are a storehouse. They're like Costco for emotions. So if there's something that is old that we've been chewing on for too long, let it go. Inhale, come on up, and then exhale, step up to the top of the mat and stand strong. Take a deep breath in and exhale, step out with your right foot, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. Turn your toes in. If you are tight in your hips, turning your toes in, your heels out will give you a little more access to your hips. If you're super stretchy, keep your feet parallel. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward slowly, lengthening, not shrinking. Hands down, head down, slide the hands back. Press deeply into the earth and let your head go. Deep breath. Inhale, lift your heart, hands to the hips, come all the way up, and then powerfully back bend. Open yourself to all that's here. You're strong enough. Inhale, stand. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep telescoping your spine forward, and then drop it down into the abyss of gravity. Nice deep breath. Inhale, lengthen all the way up. Take it into a back bend. Long spine as you return. Drop your hands down behind you. Make a stirrup with your hands. Fold your shoulders back. Open your chest powerfully. Drop your hands down to open and stay open. Deep breath, ribs in. Exhale, hinge forward. Drop your arms to where they go over your back. No force, just gravity. Deep breath. Medicine is being applied with each breath here. Inhale, lengthen and come up. Exhale, take a back bend. Powerful opening of the heart. Inhale, come up, hands to the hips. Exhale, hinge forward, slide your hands down, find your big toes, broaden your elbows, drop your heavy head. Deep breath. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, release your toes. Inhale, powerful reverse swan dive. Come all the way up, palms come to touch. Exhaling, hands into the heart center. Lifting your toes, pivot, and step up to the top of the mat. Hands come behind, either holding your forearms or creating a reverse namaste. And then take your right foot back, pivot, And as you face the back of your mat, square and level your hips. Ribs in, lift, exhale, hinge forward, and then let your head go. Nice deep breathing. Inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, pivot, pivot, and lengthen up again. Bring the ribs in, hold your pelvis with your glutes, and then extend forward, telescopic spine, and then dropping your head down. Let it be a heavy weight that lets you get longer and longer with each exhale. The more we let go, the more we stretch. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, release your hands. Let's step off of our mats if we're on a solid floor, or find a solid place to balance. And today we're going to do a little mashup. We'll do tree pose into Utthita Hasta. I want us to get the sense of rooting in like a tree. So bring your feet in about 2 fist widths apart. Feel the equanimity there. And then slowly turning your right knee out, shift weight into your left leg. Stay powerfully lifted. Thigh back, sternum up, and ribs in. Bring the right foot to the very top of the left thigh. Press the thigh and the foot together. And then model that with your hands. Press in deeply at the chest. It's a convergence of power and strength and courage. Be present in this. If you want to open yourself up to a little more vulnerability, maybe with the arms open to help you balance, and then perhaps evolving into the arms lifted. Shoulder blades on the back, ribs in, sternum lifted. Left hand comes to the left hip, right peace fingers to the right big toes. Bring your knee forward and then extend out to wherever the right leg wants to go. No bend in the left knee. Lift up strong and then extend out to what's here for you. Deep breath. Let's be brave. Point the toes, both hands to the hips. Keep the pelvis level. Send energy out everywhere. This is a power pose, a power balance. If you want, bring your arms out. Exhale, bring your foot down, bring your arms down, and rest. Marinate in this. That was powerful goodness. Hands to the hips, softening the left leg and turning it out. Root into the right side of your body. Bring the left foot up and then press the inner thigh and the inner foot together. Bring the palms together. Powerful. Press into the main line of body, the column of power in the body. Breathe into it. And then take your cues from your situation. Maybe opening the arms to a greater sense of balance. Maybe lifting up and growing your tree. Deep breathing. Powerful in and out in equal measure. Right hand to the right hip. Left hand to the big toe. Bring the knee forward. And extend the leg out. Keep a steadiness by keeping the right side of your body powerful and finding the stretch that feels good with the left leg. Pelvis is level and breath is deep and even. Release a pointed left toe, hands to the hips, or get it into the fists and powerful biceps here. Exhale, bring it down and stand in Samastiti, equal standing. Feel that power. Come back up to the top of your mat. Let's Start there, rooting in. Inhale, big stretch up. Reach for more. Exhale, fold and let go. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, going back. Plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. 5 breaths, chair pose. Use your glutes, knees back. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go back, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot forward, warrior one. Reach up, breathe deeply. These are powerful poses. Find your power. You are stronger than anxiety. Inhale, lengthen up, pivot, pivot. Second side, start high, lift your chest, and then deepen in. Find where you can be. Full breath. Deep breath in. Exhale, shapeshift, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen up, exhale, pivot, pivot, second side, dropping in, deep breath. Deep breath in, exhale, hands to the mat, flow through. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, seated, Dandasana. The seated power pose. Flesh back. Hands right down to the ground, engaging the connection points, engaging the bandhas, engaging the deep breath. This is a great anti-anxiety pose if you're feeling like you have not enough time for a practice, but just enough time to pause and break the chain of anxiety. Sit down and do this pose. Soak up earth energy. Breathe into your body, get out of your head. Deep breath in, exhale, hinge forward, peace fingers to the big toes or thereabouts, lengthen up. Open your heart. Hinge in, find the right stretch that feels good, that stretches into the places that are shrinking into anxiety. Deep breath. Remember, your heart closes down. So keep it open. Draw the shoulders down the back. And then let's test that openness. Inhale, come up, put your hands behind you for Purvottanasana. Put the feet down, lengthen up, and breathe. If you need to, bring your knees in. I'm going to do that to make it a little more powerful because of my hip and my shoulder. Deep breath. Exhale, come down, and then inhale. Bring your knees into your chest. I'm going to show you from the side. This is a great way to build some power. So instead of moving through a vinyasa, you can certainly do that if you want. But crossing your ankles, bring your knees to touch as best you can, and then draw the knees in. Press your palms out. This is a no fear mudra. Deep breath, 5 of them. And exhale, release. Bring your legs forward, bring your flesh back. Bring your right heel in. Let's just wobble it a little bit. Our hips get tight when we're feeling high levels of anxiety and emotion. Bringing the heel into the hip crease or into the inner groin. I'm going to take that option because I don't want to aggravate my hip because anxiety is attacking my hips lately. Hands forward, lengthen up. You can pontoon your hands or hold your foot, lengthen up. Remember, we're not aggressive, we're just using the leverage. Deep breath. Heart open. Head lifted, so we're lengthening the lever of the upper body to enjoy the stretch a little more. Full, deep, even breath. Inhale, come up, and exhale, release. And then taking the left heel into the right hip crease or the inner groin. If you're in Ardha Baddha Padma, you have the option for the bind. Sorry I didn't tell you on the first side. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge in, find your stretch. Inhale, come up, and exhale, gently release this. And let's go back to that power pose. Bring the knees in, crossing the shins. Knees together, knees to the chest. No fear mudra, deep breath. Shoulders are on the back. And that opens up the heart, that opens up the lungs. Full on courage. And then exhale, release the feet in front. Draw the flesh back. And bring your right heel up, and we'll go into Marichyasana A, a little bow to ourselves. Bring your left hand behind your left hip. Lengthen and launch your heart forward, and then internal rotation of your right arm as you wrap it around as a garland or a bind. Nice deep breath. Drop your chin into your chest. Bow to what's here. Breathe into it. Honor it. Inhale, come up, and exhale, release. And do that on the second side, bringing the heel in. Right hand behind the hip to help you pitch your heart forward. Internal rotation, wrapping the arm around garland or bind. Lengthen and then drop the chin into the chest. Deep breath. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release that. Another power pose. Bring the knees in, cross the shins, knees squeeze in and in. No fear mudra, deep breathing. Exhale, release, bring your legs forward, flesh back. Right heel comes in for the third Marichyasana. We're just picking selectively today. Left arm wraps around the right leg. Right arm helps you lift the spine and then turn to the right. Nice deep breath. Feel grounded and lifted at the same time. Full breath. Even in, even out. Exhale, release. Inhale, bring the left heel in. Sit to the front of the sit bones. Right arm wraps around. Left arm helps fortify the spine. Lengthen up and turn to the left. Deep breath. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. Last time for the power pose. Bring the knees in. Squeeze them together. Bring them in. No fear mudra. Deep breath. Deep breath in. Exhale. Gently release. Now, one of the things I think helps is to turn the tables when we're feeling anxiety. And turning upside down is a great way to reverse circulation, but also to reverse perspective. So I want you to practice an inversion that feels safe to you today. It's not a good idea when you're feeling anxiety to put yourself out there and challenge yourself too much. So go to something familiar where you can apply your strength and feel the wisdom of being upside down. So my buffet today would include legs up the wall, shoulder stand, either supported with a block under the pelvis or unsupported with using the lift of your body in your hands. Headstand if you feel adept at it. But if you're feeling wobbly and unsure, putting yourself in that vulnerable situation is probably not the best thing to combat anxiety today. So choose wisely and proceed. If you are not quite doing headstand, but you want to be on that path and you feel pretty good in dolphin, that's a good substitute for headstand. It puts you in the same energetic pathway. be present. Be aware and notice the difference when you turn things upside down. They tell you when you lose something that you should change your perspective in view. So sometimes if I've lost something and I can't find it, I'll either look upside down, like underneath the couch, or I will stand on the stairs and survey the room in a different way than being on regular eye level. Maintain the steady, even breath. Even if you're in legs up the wall, we still are applying our awareness to the even in and out breath because we are applying the breath medicinally to the nervous system. When you are ready to come out of your inversion, come out slowly. And we'll meet on our mats with our knees up and our backs lengthened out on the mat. Take the time to shuffle the shoulder blades down your back to sit pretty strongly there. Lift your hips up and place your hands underneath, palms down. I like to connect the thumb and the index fingers and then put my glutes down on top of that. Lengthen your legs out and connect the inner corners of the feet. Point the toes. And then imagine someone's drawing your toes forward that's lifting you up onto your forearms, lifting your chest, squeezing your elbows in toward each other. Just lightly put your head back. Breathe evenly. Don't try to force your head to the floor. It's okay if it doesn't touch. Just feel this expanded heart. Nice deep breath. And then lift your chin to your chest. Place your chest and your back onto the floor. Release your arms and then allow your limbs to move equally away from the midline of the body. This sense of placing the body equitably lends itself to calming the nervous system. If something is off, your brain and your nervous system will try to solve that. So take that off the table by bringing everything into symmetrical equanimity. Nose and chin directly up toward the ceiling. If the chin comes too far toward the chest, it impedes our breathing, which ramps up nervousness and anxiety. And if the chin lifts up too high, that often ignites anxiety too. So find that balance and then allow your bones to settle, allow the flesh to soften. If you're feeling really anxious and vulnerable still, put a blanket over you. If you feel that you will be too heated, take the blanket and put it across the area of your root chakra, which is like the bottom of your pelvis and, the pelvic rim. So a folded blanket gives a little bit of weight. It gives you a sense of grounding. If you happen to have a sandbag, that's a good place to put the sandbag too, to help you feel grounded and in the earth's energy. The earth's energy is Earth Mama energy. In Peru, they have Pachamama, Mother of Earth. And then let go of managing the breath. Let go into being present. And the same things that we did in the meditation at the beginning, we're going to do here. We'll just set up a base camp at the rings of the nostrils and feel the in and out of the natural breath. And if we notice that we veer into something that takes us away from this moment, like a story or a fantasy we're creating in our minds about a feeling or a thought, then we will come back to the rings of the nostrils. We will awaken to the knowledge that we have strayed and come back without judgment, without admonishment. Because this is the practice, coming back. Being in the full bath of our yoga practice of breathing and feeling the body in conjunction with the breath. You can broaden your awareness to take in the vibrancy of the practice we just did, the medicine soaking in. in Chinese medicine, they say that our spirits have two parts. That one part of our spirit is in our hearts, and another part of our spirit is in this cosmos where we're all connected to each other because all is one. But when we're in the throes of anxiety, when we run up into our heads, the filament that connects us from self inside to self outside gets discontinued, it gets cut down. And that's okay for a while, but if we stay there too long, anxiety builds even more and we become disenfranchised. The heart and the soul longs for connection to the whole. So I think it's comforting to know that we're not alone in our anxiety. Others are feeling it as well. And we have the knowledge that breath and movement is medicine and helps for this. And when we expand our practice beyond ourselves, that it becomes even better for us and for others. So we can breathe and move for those who aren't today. And what we're feeling here, there's enough of it to share with those who need it also. So if you're feeling vulnerable and alone, open up your awareness to someone else who could use this movement as medicine. Mentally visualize that person and share the sensation of your practice with them. Deepen your breath. Make it equal, in and out. Add a little volume, breath by breath. Start filling out the places that we expanded into in our power poses. And when you feel ready to stretch, stretch your body. When you feel ready to move and come back up to seated, roll to one side, prop your way back up, and place your head on top of your spine. Bring your hands to a place where your elbows are right over your hips and your shoulders are right over your hips. And then let's take our hands into that no fear mudra. Let's put our shoulders on the back and bring these hands forward. I want you to remember to breathe and move a little bit, especially when you notice that anxiety is rising. Keep it at bay. Thank you for being here today and sharing this practice and this space to be vulnerable in, because it takes courage to move through your anxiety. And if you can get on your mat or your meditation cushion, yoga will meet you there. Let's dedicate the merits of our practice to those who aren't here today, who need this. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be parted from freedom's true joy. May all beings dwell in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Let's bow together. Thank you all for being here, for breathing and moving and applying the medicine.
Thank you.